U.S. Treasury yields were little changed on Wednesday as investors looked ahead to the release of the minutes from the Federal Reserve's last meeting. At 4:08 a.m. Eastern Time, the yield on the 10-year Treasury was less than 1 basis point lower at 4.2714%. The 2-year Treasury yield was last down by just over 2 basis points to 4.5891%. Yields and prices have an inverted relationship. 1 basis point equals 0.01%. Investors awaited the release of minutes from the Fed's January meeting, which could provide fresh hints about the path ahead for interest rates. Prior to the January meeting, traders had been pricing in a high chance of rate cuts beginning as early as March. In a post-meeting press conference, however, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said this was unlikely, dampening hopes from investors. Expectations have since moved to a June rate cut. Economic data released last week also moderated hopes that rate cuts will begin sooner rather than later, especially as Fed officials have indicated that their decision-making will be data-led. Both the Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index came in hotter than expected for January, which suggested to many investors that inflation is more persistent than they had hoped. Alongside uncertainty about the timeline for rate cuts, questions have also emerged about how many rate cuts will take place this year. At the tail end of 2023, the Fed indicated that it was expecting 3 cuts to take place this year. Investors were hopeful that more cuts than this would happen, but Fed policymakers have since suggested it could be even fewer. As well as the release of the minutes, investors are also looking to a host of comments from Fed officials throughout the week for fresh hints about the monetary policy outlook.